Trey, how do you feel like you've played through 3 games?
I think I played okay. There's a lot of stuff I need to improve on, a lot of stuff Coach Wells and I keep talking on. Just obviously, just being an offensive lineman, you're never really going to have perfection. There are a lot of people playing in the league for like 16 years. They're still not going to be perfect. There's always something to work on. So yeah, I think I'm doing an okay job right now.
Coach, the one thing you get focused in on doing the first thing right. Sometimes you forget about this second step.
Yeah.
What's kind of he meaning by that?
I mean, it's just a lot to retain. It's a lot of information to keep going week by week, transitioning, and not. Coach Wells always has a saying, we don't want just ups and downs. We want to just keep going down a steady path,
Do you feel like you're better right now as a run blocker or pass protector?
Right now, I feel like my specialty is run blocking. I enjoy the physicality of it, just really, I guess, get in somebody's chest and just run them over. That's the fun part about football for me.
What's the challenge in pass protection?
Not being so over aggressive a lot of times with my hands, just being patient, keeping my chest back. Someone actually told me today, you want to keep your face mask out of it. So, just the type of player I am, I have the, sometimes I end up being a little over aggressive in my sets.
Coach Wells mentioned you were pretty excited to see what it was like to play at the Swamp for the first time. What was that experience like, and what made you so excited to play that?
As a kid growing up, man, I always played NCAA football, and the teams that I always wanted to play against were LSU and Florida. So just growing up, I always wanted to play in the Swamp. I don't know what it was, but playing there, man, it was definitely a tough environment. I mean, first walking in the stadium, I was like, okay, it's not really kneeling size. I didn't really know how loud it was going to get, but a couple of drives, man, it was loud. I'll give them their credit for that. The fans are pretty crazy down there, but it was a good experience. Obviously, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So, in the next couple of years, I'm going to be definitely expecting that game again. But, it was a fun experience.
Playing on the road in a place like that, does that rattle you at all your first time being in an atmosphere like that?
No, really, it doesn't rattle me because of my preparation. Coaches the whole week, the way they're describing it, making sure I'm getting the proper amount of fluids, making sure I have a good grasp and knowledge of the plays, it doesn't faze me.
Trey, why did you always want to play those two teams in that video game? Follow up.
No real reason. Just I always thought like LSU and Florida were two cool stadiums, sort of. I was just like, it'd be cool to play there one day.
Trey, was maybe one of the most frustrating things about that loss that y'all really kind of had them on their back foot there late in the game. It looked like they were kind of they were a little worn down maybe at the end. Does that make it more frustrating that y'all couldn't find a way to win that one?
I mean, anytime you lose, you're going to be frustrated. You're always going to check the film and see what you could have done better. Them being worn down, it's a game of attrition. Obviously, after you have about 80 so snaps, you're going to be worn down. So, I mean, me as a competitor, I don't want to lose anybody, so it's always going to be disappointing.
The way that John runs, does that make it easy to kind of keep yourself fired up? Because that guy, I mean, it's like he's a human energy drink kind of.
Man, I love watching the film just because there are a couple times when I look at John, I'm just like, wow. Like, he was punching people, dude, on the sideline, running over people. I mean, he's a full contact back. That's what I really love about him. JK, man, he gets me hyped in the game. Just the way he plays, the violence in which he plays, it really motivates me. If a guy's going to run that hard, man, what is blocking this guy for a couple seconds so I can spring him free?
Trey, a lot of people talk about your leadership role that you've taken so quickly. Talk about how that transpired. Did you kind of wait for a little bit, just wait it out, make sure, feel your way around, and then take charge, or was that something you felt comfortable doing from the get-go?
Me personally, I don't really consider myself just like a team leader, outgoing in that way, in that retrospect. A lot of the people I look up to, like Jay Sean Robertson, Brett Kendrick, guys like that, Venzo Bulwer, those type of people, they sort of motivated me. They taught me the ropes, told me how to act in a certain way. And, I don't really consider myself just a leader on the team right now. I really consider myself just doing my job every day to contribute to the team and the success of Tennessee.
Your teammates seem to like the energy you brought. I guess I know that first series, against Georgia Tech, seeing the block you made on that guy on the perimeter and things like that. I mean, they like what you brought to the room, I guess.
Yeah, so I think like we all bring something to the room, and I want to. My high school coaches, my mentors, always told me, be the most physical guy out there. So a lot of times I want to bring good physicality, and I learned that a lot from Jay Sean, just watching the way he practiced. We sort of, Coach Wells talks about how we sort of have the same mentality at times. We just want to, sort of destroy people. So I really learned that from them.
A lot of guys have talked about how vocal John Kelly is in the field, whether it's in practice or even in center. What are some of the things he's usually kind of saying? Is he talking to teammates? Is he talking to the team? Or what's he usually thinking?
JK is just a motivator, man. Like, I know just a couple times, if we're really not getting a good start, we're not running the way we're supposed to, you know, he's gonna really call you out on that, you know, and he's gonna wake you up to the fact that, you know, we have a mission at hand. Like, we gotta go out and do this thing, man. You know, and I think the biggest word for JK is a motivator, and it's not just from his words; it's how he acts, how he plays the game. You know, it's everything he does.
For the first 3 games, have they been a greater challenge than you thought, or do you feel like you've done pretty well?
Obviously, the transition, man, it's been hard. Anytime you're going to start, anytime you start as a freshman, the challenge of just adapting to something different is going to be hard. But it's especially hard being an offensive lineman at times with the different techniques, and obviously the assignments I have, man, it can be a little overwhelming at times. But I think I've done okay. You know, Coach Wells and Coach Clennons, you know, have been a great help to me so far.
Trey, when you were walking around campus with that sledgehammer a couple weeks ago, what kind of looks were you getting when you were carrying that thing around?
Oh, man, I got some looks, dog. I'm not going to lie. I walked into Haslam, and I wanted to carry it in a non-threatening way because I was like, man, I started really evaluating this, man. I do sort of have a weapon, but, you know, I mean, people were looking. They're just sort of like someone was drinking their coffee, just sort of getting a little look, man. But it wasn't nothing too bad, you know. And then I told them why I was there, and they saw the Georgia Tech thing, and they realized it was just a football thing. So,
was it your choice to carry it on campus, or do all the other linemen have to do it too?
oh no, it was my choice.
Why did you choose to carry it on campus?
Start that legend. You know what I mean? Get that going. I think Evan Berry told me, you know, I asked him, should I carry the class? He was like, you know what? As a freshman, you look back on that as a senior, be like, yeah, I did that. It's going to be fun. So I really want to leave my mark on Tennessee. I want to have some fun while I'm here.
This just being the first loss that you've experienced at Tennessee, how have you kind of managed all the negative noise, the realizing how crazy the fans actually can be?
Yeah.
How have you kind of navigated all that?
Tunnel vision, man. Just take it day by day. I mean, they could be on your side this week and against you the other. But, you know, a lot of times in life you're going to have adversities. And my dad always taught me, you know, in life you're going to get knocked down. Everything's not going to go your way. The shame is just sitting there and taking it. Now, if you get back up and you keep going and you have success and people are with you again, it's okay. But the shame is staying there. So my mentality is to keep going, man.
Trey, I know
One more.
Y'all have it was a very emotional game last week. You know, everyone knows who's on the schedule next week, and this is a noon game coming up against obviously not an SEC team. How do you think the team's going to focus, and what do you have to do to make sure that you keep that focus?
We're going to be locked in, man, every day, every session. Anytime we touch that field, man, we're out there. We're on a mission, a purpose, you know, for the rest of the season, and we've already been on a mission, a purpose. So the approach stays the same, man. We're just going to keep going at it.
So you think the team's been doing that? You think the team's had that focus?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Trey.